Welcome to the Healthusiasm podcast, a panel discussion on behaviors, innovation, and trends in health and self-care. My name is Christophe Choquet. I'm an author and professional keynote speaker on the future of health. Now, if you're new to the Healthusiasm podcast, you might wonder what Healthusiasm is all about. Well, Healthusiasm is the aspiration that we all have to be healthy and happy. And as a result of this, every company or organization is now more than ever focused on making their customers healthier and happier. And so, every month, I discuss with a panel of experts the positive changes that are shaping our health and happiness. This is the 17th episode number 17, and for this discussion, we have three of your beloved experts in the panel. Calling in from Barcelona is our digital health connector, Aline Noizet.
Hola.
From London, customer experience and research expert, Krupa Sutar.
Hi, everybody.
And last but not least, from Ghent, Belgium, human experience expert Mo Zouina.
Hello there.
Great to have you back, guys. How are you doing today?
Very good.
Wonderful.
Good.
Nice. Good to hear. Well, we have some very interesting topics coming up. In this show, we will discuss how we are moving away from the attention economy to keep us healthy and happy. And we'll also discuss how far people would go with virtual companions. But first, some healthusiasm, some positive changes that will impact our health and happiness. So tell me, Aline, what healthusiasm did you witness in the past month?
So it was a very interesting article about RadNet. So that's an outpatient imaging center leader in the US. And they just announced that they will open diagnostic imaging centers in multiple Walmart locations. So Walmart has those big shopping centers or supermarkets in the US. And those clinics are going to be called Mammogram now. So the idea is really to increase health awareness and accessibility for people, and especially in rural areas, thinking that most Americans live 10 miles from a Walmart. So it's a big thing that they say that the tourists we like to go to Walmart as an activity when we go to the US as well. So they will use artificial intelligence on top of that from their subsidiary called Deep Health to make that analysis better. And so if the pilot is successful with mammograms, they would expand their services to do chest x-ray for lung cancer detection. So I think one of the challenges that they have there, so that's really first point of contact detection, but what happens after? If they detect something wrong with someone, what will happen after that? So they are thinking about that to make sure that it follows on. But as the CEO of RadNet was saying, this could actually become a new paradigm for the future of consumer health and preventative medicine. And actually like that news because it follows a trend that we've been discussing before in the podcast and that I follow very closely. So where the patient is actually at the center and the care is going where the patient is. So really to make things easier. So you go to the supermarket and you can access healthcare at the same time. So it's lessen the burden of going specifically to make your appointment for your mammogram.
Yeah, it's a wonderful example. And I wrote about it in my first book as well. I think nearby is one of the expectations that patients have. They want to have that solution close to them, very close to them. And actually, one of my healthusiasms is also related to that. I want to talk about Bayer Consumer Health, who will actually partner up with Hurdle to personalize care at home in line with your biological age. So basically, you were talking about bringing health and healthcare to the supermarket where people are at 10 kilometers from their home. In this case, it will be brought to your home. What will be brought to your home? It's actually the Chronomics biological age test that is sent to your home. And then you, as a person, you need to send back some saliva, where actually the company Hurdle will look into it and see or look at your epigenetic biomarkers to look at your biological age. So they look at your genes, which allows you to understand how your lifestyle and your environment could have an impact on that. And they will tell you your biological age, which actually may be different from your actual age, of course. And first of all, what you get from it is some insights into how your lifestyle is, or your choices that you make in life are affecting the aging processes of your body. But as a result, or in later stages, what we will see is that Bayer wants to use these insights for their own product developments. And so their goal is really to build precision solutions for health and self-care. So based on these epigenetics insights, they will build the right solutions for you and send them to your home. So really bringing that to your home. And as you said, I mean, this is this is a very important evolution because it's part of bigger trends. As you said, bring it to the patients, in this case, at home itself. But it's also relevant because it plays into other important trends, like the obsession that people have with aging now. We talked about it in episode 7. But also personalized health solutions, and definitely the era of epigenetics, as I sometimes call it, that will be kicking off. Because in the world we live in, with a lot of artificial intelligence, we are looking for new and better data to be able to base our health decisions on. And these epigenetics will be crucial. So I think this is a very amazing partnership around digital health, around personalization of health, around aging, that I definitely like. But to Krupa, you are a women's health expert, and you had something to share from the States, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I do, which is unusual for me to not share something that's happening in England. But actually, this is a Healthusiasm that I wanted to share from many months ago, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to make it. But it is a major announcement from the US, and it comes actually from the White House. And President Biden has launched the first ever White House initiative on women's health research. So, like England, despite women making up half of the population, they still remain underrepresented and understudied in health research. So the White House obviously have recognised that they have major gaps in this knowledge and recognise that change needs to happen. The effort for the piece is being actually led by Jill Biden, who actually I didn't know has long championed women's health and also looks after the White House Gender Policy Council. And through research, they want to identify solutions that will provide women with the answers they need. So sometimes you'll go to the doctors, for example, you'll be told something and then you leave with more questions. So what they're looking to do is actually give the solutions and then reduce the number of questions that women have when they leave these appointments. The interesting thing the White House are actually doing is that they're not just working with the government, but they're actually also working with private sector, research institutions, and philanthropic organisations, which is really great to see because it's not just a government piece, but actually it spans all different types of sectors. And so the first tasks that they have related to this is, first of all, they're establishing an initiative consisting of executive departments and agencies across the government and others, and then they want them to deliver concrete recommendations to advance women's health research. They've apparently been given 45 days, which doesn't seem a lot at all, to make these recommendations, and then actions that the administration can begin to take of how to improve research with women. And then this obviously will start to hopefully address the disparities that they're seeing. So it's obviously very, very quick what they're aiming to do. It's targeted and they hope it will have a high impact piece. And they want to look at really high priority areas. So, for example, we know that women are more likely to die from heart attacks, for example, than men are. Because less is known. They also want to look at, say, the menopause, obviously, because that affects so many working women. And then they also are going to be engaging with scientific, private sector and philanthropic communities, as I've said, to help drive that innovation as well. So it's a really amazing initiative that's coming out of the White House. And I'm going to be really fascinated to see what happens and where this goes.
Yeah, it is fascinating. And it's even remarkable. I mean, every time I hear these examples from around women's health, I'm always surprised that this is happening just now. Like, it is something that is remarkable, but still, how come we didn't do it already 20, 30 years ago in some sort? It's always a shocker to me. But indeed, I think what is happening right now around women's health is actually going to change, to me, healthcare. I mean, I write it in my new book about it. It's like the way that women's health is treated right now, the focus that we have on it, the consciousness that we have on how women are different and what they actually need, will actually change the way that we will treat healthcare in the future. Another thing that will definitely impact how we go about health and healthcare in the future is artificial intelligence, of course. And I'll stay in the US. I'll stay with artificial intelligence. I'll go to Google, who has now rolled out their MedLM, which is actually a collection of AI models that they actually have tailored specifically for healthcare industry. And it again confirms their continuous effort, their focus to be more present in the healthcare industry. But it also shows that they are ready to battle the competition, if you will, with the likes of Amazon and Microsoft when it comes to AI in healthcare. Now, a little bit about MedLM. It's not just a single tool. It's what they call a suite of tools. But actually, it's only two models. Both are based on the MedPalm 2 language model, which is their largest, or their large language model that is trained on medical data. And on the one hand side, they have a larger model which is made to actually help with complex tasks like analyzing patient populations. And on the other hand, you have a smaller counterpart which is more specifically focused on smaller tasks, like summarizing interactions between the patient and the doctors. They also recently announced actually Gemini, Google did, which is the, as is said by Google, but also by others, the more advanced version of ChatGPT, apparently. And they want to include Gemini, or the smartness, the intelligence from Gemini into that MedLM suite as well. For now, it'll be mostly automating the documentation of the doctor-patient relationship and even helping a little bit with the collaboration with nurses. So mainly focusing on reducing the administrative load. But I think with all the things that they are building and the speed at which they are progressing, I think it could be really something very soon. Talking about being something really soon, then I think about Mo. Mo, to you, what do you have for us this week as a Healthusiasm?
Yeah, thank you, Christoph. So before diving into today's topic, there's two things that incredibly fascinate me. The first one is regenerative medicine. That is linked to the fact that, I've co-founded a clinic called Relieve, and my push in the organization called BNORM, which is the Belgian National Organization for Regenerative Medicine. And the second aspect is human behavior. And if people listen to our previous podcast, my statement that people are lazy and they want to be serviced for health, I think is pretty clear. So that means that I'm quite excited about a groundbreaking news, which is called anthrobots. So what are anthrobots? These are miniature, self-assembling biological robots made from human cells, more specifically human tracheal cells. And from my perspective, with the regenerative medicine realm, anthrobots have the potential to really be a game changer for health and regeneration. They were crafted at Tufts University and Harvard's Wise Institute, and they're really microscopic little drones made out of cells that you can deploy in whatever area you want to repair certain damage or even to clear some things out. So they have the width of a human hair or a sharpened pencil, and they are born from adult human cells, and they can move around to stimulate neuron growth across damaged areas, as evidenced in lab experience. Now, what makes them stand out is their capacity to revolutionize healing and regeneration. Because first of all, they come from your own cells. So there is no need for immune suppression. You can provide a personalized and immune-friendly therapeutic approach. And on top of that, what's really interesting is once they're deployed in the body, they break down automatically. So they disappear after they've done their work, which is incredible. And they're now looking at ways to develop task-oriented anthrobots, for instance, that would be able to target specific tasks, treatment areas, or pathologies. Let me give you an example. They could clear plaque in arteries, for instance, or repair spinal cord or retinal nerve damage. They could detect bacteria or cancer cells, or even deliver drugs. They would be your medical Uber to deliver drugs to specific tissues. So with their diverse application, I think they hold an incredible promise as a versatile tool for medical interventions. And they're now using the natural ability of cells, and that's what we try to do in the clinic and also in the association, is to mobilize your own repair and regenerative power to create new ways of fixing our own bodies. Okay, so what's cool is that they're not changed genetically, and they make us think as how we could use cells to fix our own body problems. So in simple terms, anthrobots are a mix of biology and robotics that could be a big deal in the future, and they might be like personalized self-fixing robots that can help illnesses and make us healthier. And I think starting from a few cells from our windpipes shows us how amazing our bodies can be when we use them to make positive changes. And this is what this Healthusiasm podcast is about: positive change.
It's definitely a positive change, and it's almost impossible to imagine how that works. It sounds like so futuristic. I recently heard on another podcast about programmable medicines, which goes in the same direction. It's amazing how healthcare is being revolutionized. I have a final Healthusiasm that goes in the same amazingness, if you ask me, and that is about virtual twins in healthcare, or crash test dummies for healthcare, as Dassault Systems called them. Actually, they launched a marketing campaign about Emma Twin. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's basically a scientifically accurate virtual representation of a real person. It's a 3D model body, let's say, and it's based on information and data about real people. And so with that body, doctors and researchers can actually analyze the effects of diseases or even test new remedies against certain diseases without the risk for real people. Basically, they can do several hundred tests on this virtual human at the same time. It is apparently already involved in living heart and living brain projects and skin cancer disease development projects, and the personalization of surgical implants as well, but not the way that it is represented, because it is represented as a marketing campaign. So you see a 3D person walking around. She's called Emma. And so we're not there yet, but there's parts of Emma, if you will, that is being used in other projects as a virtual test environment. But the reason why they launched it as a actual virtual human being in this campaign on social media, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, is actually to inform people about the role that these virtual twins could actually have. Obviously, to explain how wonderful this could be to have this sort of crash test dummy for yourself. But it also shows and showcases, if you will, the capabilities of Dassault Systems, which is the company behind it. If you're interested in Emma Twin, you can follow her on LinkedIn. She has an account on LinkedIn with only 2,500 followers at this moment, but it's interesting to see what she is talking about. Basically, she's talking about the different clinical studies that she is involved. So it's a bit unusual, both the robot ends as the Emma virtual twin, let's say. But I have 3 more short, unusual ones, as usual, where I will ask or talk about and ask you what you think of it. And the first one is for you, Mo. I came across something, and I wanted to ask you this. Do you know what European company has the highest market cap valuation?
It's not a European. Is it a healthcare company?
I ask you, what European company has the highest market valuation?
I have no clue.
I imagined you would say it is somebody from the luxury industry, meaning...
Well, you could say it would be LVMH or PPR or Kering as it is called today, but I don't know if it's the highest market cap evaluation.
LVMH was for a long time the biggest one, but it has been surpassed ever since September and is still the second one right now, and it's being surpassed by Novo Nordisk.
Yeah.
For the obvious reason.
Novo Nordisk is the biggest contributor of the national product in Denmark.
Definitely now.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because of Ozempic, right?
Of course.
Ever since Ozempic was on the market, they've actually grown massively, and they've become the biggest European company, surpassing LVMH, which has been the king in Europe for an eternity, almost probably.
And that's crazy because I knew that.
Yeah, and I thought you wouldn't need. That's why I went to you, my man.
Thank you.
Okay, second unusual one. Might be maybe something for Aline. Maybe you heard about it. The tech startup Prophetic. It's a headband. It's a thick headband, actually. But what does the headband do? It has to be worn at night, and it's designed by one of the guys who also designed the first brain implant for Neuralink. What do you think the headband does? Any idea?
Maybe it's reading your dreams.
It's close to that. It's close to that. You're almost. Krupa, you have any idea?
Maybe it's looking at your sleep and your sleep pattern and waves that are happening, and therefore how can you optimize your brain functionality and your sleep.
Yeah, it's very close as well. I think what it does, it's able to induce lucid dreams. So the kind of dreams in which you are aware that you're dreaming. And as a consequence, you can actually have some impact on it. And it could create some whole new sort of non-life changing experience, if you will, where you explore your subconscious mind. And the purpose of the company, and that is the crazy thing, I mean, inducing lucid dreams seems like, okay, nice. But the purpose of the company is to be productive while you sleep. So what they want to do is they want to help you perhaps running through math problems while you sleep, maybe visualizing the end of your book that you're writing, and while you're awake, you can't really figure out how to end it. Well, if you are actively productive in your sleep, maybe it goes easier. And basically, you could even do some work, why not, while you're sleeping. It's tech startup Prophetic.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a safe alternative for psychedelics.
It is similar to psychedelics. It goes in the same way. The only thing is, I'm not quite sure how, with every type of psychedelic, you are that productive at work. But it definitely helps with lucid dreams.
So my friend actually pre-ordered the band, and I remembered, when you said it.
Oh,
I think it was quite pricey.
yeah.
And he's looking forward to writing his book in his dreams when it comes out.
That's amazing. I think it's about 1,500 euros, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not quite sure. Something like that.
No, I have 12,000 in mind.
Okay, could be. Maybe I'm missing. I see so many things passing by. Could be right. Last one, we go to Osmo. Osmo is the name of a tech startup that is part of Google Ventures. And it wants to digitize smell. But why do they want to digitize smell, Krupa?
Do you know, I have vaguely seen something on this, and I can't remember what I read. It was some time ago now. Obviously, smell is the easiest sense to get through to your brain, and therefore has the biggest impact usually. So I'm just trying to figure out if it's something to do with that and digital experiences that people may be having, and therefore smell is one that you can't necessarily have, and therefore they're trying to give you that through a digital experience. I don't know, but I think it's to do with digital experience and smell, and obviously getting to your brain quicker, because you can do all your other senses, you just can't do smell or touch, actually.
Yeah, I think it's a very good guess, and I think it's part of the answer. But maybe Mo can complete it. Do you have an idea what it could be used for?
I was also thinking of how it could augment the realities we are in today from a digital point of view. But Krupa is true. It is one of the most direct connections to our brain. It's also the first thing we communicate with when we're a child. We have no words. So the sense of smell is really very strong, engraved in our survival reflex.
Yeah. And also for animals. What can dogs do? What were dogs used for at airports during COVID? To detect whether you have COVID or not.
Yeah.
Dogs. And so they were able... Yeah.
Sorry, Christoph. I was going to say...
No, you're right.
Yeah, so I think if I'm I have a dog and I should know this. I don't know if the dog's sense of smell is 200 times more powerful or 30 times more powerful. I know there's a big disparity. I have a dog, and yeah, definitely. It's not only just, I think I've spoken about this before, it's not just about smelling in the airport, but they also use dogs now to help sniff out cancers and all sorts. So yes, lots going on in the world.
Epilepsy, yeah,
of course.
Diabetes, epilepsy, all those kind of things. And what they want to do is like digitize smell in the same way as we digitize colors. So when we digitize colors, we talk about RGB values, the red, green, blue values. And so now they're working on something which they call the POM values, the principal odor map, to really help with the help of digital tools to be able to have another way of detecting or screening certain diseases. And it could be actively used in robots and all sorts of digital applications, as you were saying, indeed, Krupa. Thank you for that. Thank you for all these Healthusiasms. It is a Healthusiasm world indeed. So many positive changes are making our world a little healthier and happier. If you want to know more about these Healthusiasms, go to healthusiasmpodcast.com and subscribe to our newsletter.